it's very unfortunate that those of us who work in this movement have to think about violence just for speaking our minds and for supporting President Trump.
And as a follow-up on that, I asked
3 weeks later.
The Democrat Party's main constituency are made up of Hamas terrorists, illegal aliens, and violent criminals.
It's crazy how quick that switch can be changed. Hey guys, welcome to my brother's Ballot. I'm your boy Po Theory. Please don't forget to subscribe. We are on our journey to 1,000 subscribers. We are currently at 614, and I would love for you to be one of the first 1,000. So let's get into it. As you can see from the clip earlier, the GOP and MAGA, which I don't ever think that they should not be viewed as the same. Every Republican is essentially MAGA. We should not be separating who they are. And when I say that, I'm speaking more about the actual politicians. I want to show you guys examples as to why we should never follow their messaging when it comes to our messaging. Let's get into this clip.
Why have so many people on the far left, the woke left, been so brazen in their gleeful celebration of what happened to Charlie Kirk?
Well, my response to that, number one, is I'm not on the far left, so I certainly don't speak for them. But there's people on both sides of the aisle. I know Republicans don't want to hear that, but there are crazy lunatics on both sides of the aisle that celebrate really horrible things that happen to people in America. I don't agree with them. And if you're on the far left or the far right, and you celebrate anybody getting murdered, then there's something wrong with you. And I don't feel bad for any of those people that were fired for celebrating his death. I think it's disgusting. Now, if you're just talking about him and saying, well, he wasn't a good guy, here's why I didn't like him, here are some of his quotes that he said in the past, I don't think you should be fired for that. I think there's a way to call out political violence and say Charlie Kirk didn't deserve this. I feel for his family, but I didn't like Charlie Kirk and I didn't like what he stood for. I think
it's not really my vibe to celebrate someone's passing, but I'm also not going to stop anyone from doing it, especially when he espoused the things that he espoused and said the things that he said.
Okay, Luke has been, I've been pointed out to me that you've posted some messages about Charlie Kirk on your Instagram, which we're going to show here. One is a post that's a parody of a Jubilee debate. I'm doing one of these myself soon, titled Charlie Kirk versus Bullet. Can one bullet to the neck outsmart one conservative? Well, that was a short watch. Number two is a mocked up promotion poster called Kirk and Twerk at Neck of the Woods and hashtagged both Charlie Kirk and his widow. And the third was an image of a sunrise titled God Works in Mysterious Ways with the hashtag Charlie Kirk killing and praying hands as an emoji. And you're laughing as I show these. Why do you find this funny?
Well, let me just say that I actually am a big advocate for dark humor. And I happen to have gotten a bit of a taste of that over the last, I don't know, maybe decade or so when it came to the right and their memes of George Floyd, happy birthday being sober for 5 years. When they came to their memes.
1,000%. And this is the point. I think Lucas makes the best point when it came to this whole Charlie Kirk thing. And then especially now what we are seeing in the No Kings response by the GOP. All of these people when Charlie Kirk was first unalived, to those that were making the jokes and to those that were celebrated, the way that the right clutched their pearls as if since Trump has been in the political space, some of the most vile and nasty things have been said from the right to the point that they called us snowflakes. So to see them all banding together and saying that rhetoric should be tamped down, meanwhile, currently right now, as you saw in the beginning of this video, you have Caroline Leavitt not talking about politicians, but actually talking about the American people. And you have Donald Trump putting out an AI video of dropping feces on American citizens that are practicing their First Amendment rights. And that's just a couple reasons as to why we should never listen to the right when it comes to toning down the rhetoric.
Of Breonna Taylor, when it came to their memes of Trayvon Martin, the Trayvon challenge, right? When it came to their memes of Tamir Rice. So I don't know what the issue is. I think I'm engaging in the freedom of speech that the right has been advocating for these last 10 years and mocking and making light of Black death, something that Charlie Kirk himself did time and time again. As a matter of fact, I would argue that if Charlie Kirk, instead of focusing his time on Black culture and Black on Black crime, if he had spent a modicum of his time focusing on the white youth, that perhaps he would still be with us today.
Are you pleased he's dead?
No, absolutely.
Lucas is hitting bars because, again, it wasn't someone that looked like me that did it. It looked like his brother.
Absolutely not.
So how did you feel about
But
his murder?
I don't think.
How did you feel about his murder?
How do I feel about his murder?
Yeah.
Well, I think a quote by a great author sums up the sentiment of millions of Americans around the world, and that is, some cause happiness wherever they go, others when they go. And I think that's a sentiment that is palpable amongst many Americans around the world due to the hate and vitriol and bile that Charlie Kirk sowed. So I think there was a
So just to be clear, unless I misheard you, then you are happy he died.
No, I don't think as far as happiness is an emotion that
you literally just read me a quote which implies you're happy. You talked about.
I understand the questioning that Piers is giving Lucas, especially with that quote, but I can kind of understand what Lucas is saying when it comes to that quote. Like for me, I will never be happy that someone has lost their life. But if that person has put so much hate into this world and has said such horrible things and have radicalized a lot of white youth to hate their fellow Americans, I find myself feeling very neutral about what happened to him. And that's just because I'm a good person. I can't really find it in myself to be happy about it.
Some people's death bring happiness.
The purpose of the quote was to say that there are some people who have caused harm and death and turmoil to other groups of people, such as Charlie Kirk, whether it's black people, whether it's, trans people.
No, I heard the quote.
The list
just to
goes
be
on.
clear, you said that the quote ends in that their death brings happiness, but you've denied that you were happy. But when you tell me a quote
I don't disagree.
When you tell me a quote like that, I presume from that quote you're implying that actually you are happy he died because he deserved it. He had it coming.
No, not at all. I don't think those are ever words that I've ever mentioned verbatim ever. I think there is a sentiment that when someone who lives their life in evil and wickedness, according to the scripture, the power of life and death is in your tongue. And the hate and the vile and the venom that he spewed, I don't know what to tell you. As the scripture says, as he professed, you live by the sword, you die by the sword.
And now, I could not have said that better than Lucas had said. Because again, people were losing their jobs about telling the truth about Charlie Kirk. You had the Republicans clutching their pearls. How dare these leftists say this? Oh my God, they should be fired. They should lose their citizenship. Some have lost. There was an article that just came out the other day about people losing their visas because of some of the things they said about Charlie Kirk. If that's not a First Amendment violation, I don't know what is. But let's get into what the Republicans have been saying about this No Kings protest and how quickly they abandon. You shouldn't label your political opponents like fascists and bad names because it radicalizes people. Let's get into it.
We can release a video of him pooping on the American people.
The president uses social media to make the point. You can argue he's probably the most effective person who's ever used social media for that. He is using satire to make a point. He is not calling for the murder of his political opponents, and that's what these people are doing. I mean, they're in one of these photos. I think there's a picture of the president hanging in effigy by a noose on one of these, the one on the far end. I mean.
And if I'm not mistaken, wasn't there a chant? I can't remember. Was it on January 6th where was it Trump supporters that were chanting, "Hang Mike Pence"? Am I crazy? Wait, and did Donald Trump pardon these people? Oh, okay, I'm not crazy. Okay.
Now, tomorrow, the Democrat leaders are going to join for a big party out on the National Mall. They're going to descend on our Capitol for their much-anticipated so-called No Kings rally. We refer to it by its more accurate description, the Hate America rally, okay? And I'm not sure how anybody can refute that. If you think about what's going to happen...
If you want to talk about who actually hates America, I don't think it's the ones on the left. Because we are fighting for what's actually in the Constitution. We are fighting to preserve people's rights. The right are the ones that have the issue with the First Amendment. The right are the ones that have an issue with freedom, especially when it comes to a woman's right to choose. The right are the ones that have an issue with separation of church and state. These are all things that are foundational to America. So if anyone truly hated America, I would say it would be the right. And let's not forget about lovely Caroline Levitt, the same one that was crying and saying, people should be able to just have their viewpoints and not be criticized for them. It is interesting to me for them to have that viewpoint because they want to be able to say anything, but they don't want anything said to them. Now watch her.
That the Democrat Party's main constituency are made up of Hamas terrorists, illegal aliens, and violent criminals. That is who the Democrat Party is catering to, not the Trump administration and not the White House and not the Republican Party.
So again, Democrats, the reason I created this video is to show that no matter what you do, no matter the candidates that you put up, and I love that they have Zoran Mamdani right here, because that's another point. You have reports of Hakeem Jeffries saying that he doesn't really want Mamdani to win the mayorship because that may hinder the Democrats from winning the House or winning the midterms. No matter who you put up, the messaging and the attacks will be the same. You had Kamala Harris powing around with Liz Cheney, and they still said that she was a communist and a leftist and a Marxist. So clearly, it does not matter who you put up. Maybe you should stop putting up establishment Democrats and actually start handpicking these DSA members because they are the ones that are winning. They are the ones that are most popular. Again, AOC, Bernie, Zoran. I just really hope we get it. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please be one of the 1,000. Peace.